What if I told you the home you're about to see cost less than a nice condo in most cities, but looks like it belongs on the cover of Architectural Digest? Soaring ceilings, massive walls of glass, warm wood beams, floors that gleam like polished glass, marble-look countertops that fool literally everyone. The kind of place that makes your jaw drop the second you walk through the front door. Now here's the twist. This entire home was built for around $150,000. Not $3 million, not $1 million, $150,000. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly how, because I'm breaking down every single trick, material swap, and design decision that makes this possible in 2026. Stick around, because near the end I'm going to show you the one splurge that changes everything, and most people get it backwards. Before we go inside, subscribe now, because at the end of this video, I'm giving you the exact splurge versus save breakdown that lets you copy this entire look on almost any budget. That single breakdown could save you tens of thousands of dollars if you're ever building or renovating. Let's step inside. First, let's talk about why this math works at all, because it's not magic, it's structural. A barndominium starts life as a steel frame shell, basically a barn, and gets converted into a livable home. That structure alone hands you features that traditional homes charge a fortune for. Soaring vaulted ceilings, exposed steel beams, wide open floor plans, and a durable metal roof, all baked into the base build before you've even started decorating. In a normal stick-built house, vaulted ceilings and structural beams are a luxury upgrade, something you pay a premium for. In a barndominium, they're just the starting point. You're not paying extra for that wow architecture. It comes free with a shell. Here's the honest 2026 numbers. Nationally, finished barndominiums are running somewhere between about $65 and $200 per square foot, depending on size and finish level, with the average total project landing around $230,000. On the lower end, a small, simple barndominium can come in as low as roughly $113,000. A smart, well-planned build in the $150,000 range is absolutely achievable, especially in the 1,200 to 1,500 square foot range with efficient design choices and a focus on strategic finishes rather than square footage. And here's a detail most people miss. If your barndominium includes an attached shop or garage area, that portion is dramatically cheaper per square foot than the living space, because it doesn't need insulation to living standards, HVAC, or interior finish work. That means your total square footage can look massive on paper, while your actual finished living space cost stays controlled. Forget the old red barn stereotype. 2026 barndominium exteriors are borrowing straight from modern architectural homes, and the shift is dramatic. Matte black and charcoal metal panels are dominating exterior palettes this year. Bold, low maintenance, and strikingly contemporary against natural landscapes. It's the same aesthetic you see on multi-million-dollar modern farmhouses and mountain homes. And on a barndominium, it comes standard with the metal shell. Builders are mixing that metal with cedarwood accents, natural stone veneer, or board and batten siding to add warmth, texture, and visual depth. That contrast is key. Pure metal can look industrial, but metal plus warm wood plus stone reads as intentional, custom, architectural. Then there's the porch. Deep wraparound or L-shaped porches continue trending strongly in 2026, extending your usable living space outdoors while reinforcing that timeless, welcoming farmhouse feel. It's one of the cheapest square footage additions you can make, and it does enormous work for curb appeal. It's often the first thing people see in photos and videos, which matters enormously for that wow first impression. This is the moment that sells the entire illusion, and it happens in the first 3 seconds of walking inside. Instead of a cramped little entryway, you're hit with volume. A soaring, open ceiling with exposed steel or timber beams stretching overhead, and walls of glass flooding the space with natural light. Your eye has nowhere small to land. It just keeps traveling upward and outward. That single architectural moment, the big open volume, is what your brain instinctively associates with expensive homes. Think about it. When you picture a mansion, you're probably picturing a huge, dramatic entry space. In a barndominium, that moment is essentially free because it's simply how the shell is engineered. You're not building an illusion from scratch. You're just choosing not to hide what the structure already gives you. Here's where the budget magic really starts. And it's honestly one of the smartest material decisions in the whole build. Wide plank real hardwood flooring can run $30 to $50 per square foot installed. In a modest 2,000 square foot home, that alone can eat $40,000 to $100,000 before you've bought a single piece of furniture, hung a light fixture, or touched a countertop. For a $150,000 total budget, that's simply not viable. Instead, budget-savvy Barndo builds lean on luxury vinyl plank, but specifically the good stuff. We're talking 12 mils or thicker, with a rigid core and a realistic embossed wood grain texture. Cheap vinyl looks like a photograph of a glued to plastic. Good LVP looks, and even feels underfoot, remarkably like the real thing. And it comes with real practical advantages. It's waterproof, scratch-resistant, and dramatically easier to maintain than hardwood, which matters if you got kids, pets, or muddy boots coming in from a rural property. Then there's the other favorite trick among designers building these homes: polished, stained concrete. Since the Barndominium is already sitting on a concrete slab as its foundation, polishing and staining that existing slab creates a sleek, modern, almost gallery-like floor for a fraction of the cost of installing any other flooring material on top of it. You're not adding a material, you're just finishing one that was already there. And here's a genuinely clever upgrade. Pair that polished concrete with radiant floor heating installed underneath before the slab is poured, or with a self-leveling layer over an existing slab. Polished concrete plus radiant heat is one of those details that reads as pure, quiet luxury. The kind of thing guests don't consciously notice but absolutely feel. The kitchen is the room people judge a home by more than any other, so this is where smart spending really pays off, and where the splurge versus save decisions matter most. Countertops are the classic budget trap. A slab of natural marble is stunning, but it's expensive and it stains. The trick isn't avoiding a stone look, it's choosing engineered quartz or quartz-look laminate that convincingly mimics high-end marble, like Carrara, at a fraction of the price and with far better durability day to day. For cabinetry, instead of fully custom cabinet builds, which can be one of the largest line items in an interior budget. Many of these budget luxury kitchens use RTA, or ready-to-assemble, cabinets made from quality plywood and solid wood components, dressed up with upgraded hardware. Alternatively, simple painted MDF shaker-style doors read as timeless and elegant rather than cheap, and they're easy to repaint down the line if trends shift. Small details compound here too. Open floating shelves break up a long run of cabinets and add an airy, open feel while cutting material costs. A statement pendant light fixture over the island instantly elevates the whole room. And warm-toned lighting, somewhere in the 2700 to 3000 Kelvin range, makes an enormous difference to how expensive a space feels, because warm light reads as inviting and luxurious, while harsh, cool-toned lighting reads as clinical and budget, even in an identical room. Here's the design philosophy that makes this whole style actually work, and it's worth understanding because it's the through line for every room in the house. The Barndominium doesn't need to pretend to be a traditional house. Its beauty comes from the tension between rough, industrial bones, exposed steel framing, concrete, raw ceiling beams, and refined, soft finishes layered on top, like warm textiles, natural wood furniture, and stone accents. That contrast is what makes a Barndominium feel custom instead of cheap. A polished stone-look countertop sitting inside a steel-framed room with exposed beams doesn't look like a shortcut. It looks like an intentional design choice, exactly the kind you'd see featured in a high-end architecture magazine spread. Designers describe this as spending money on comfort and function while saving money on flash. And it's genuinely the mental model behind almost every expensive-looking cheap home you've ever seen online. For furniture, another trick that pays off enormously: mix high and low pieces. Pair one designer-look statement item, a sculptural coffee table, a striking dining table, with an affordable sofa dressed in higher-end textiles. Nobody's I can tell which piece costs $200 and which costs $2,000 if the overall composition and texture feels cohesive. And thrifted or secondhand furniture that's structurally sound often just need a fresh coat of finish or re-upholstering to look completely custom. Square foot for square foot, this might be the single highest leverage room in the entire house. A walk-in shower with multiple shower heads instantly creates a spa-like feel that most guests associate with luxury hotels, not a $150,000 home. Adding a skylight directly above the shower area brings in dramatic, shifting natural light throughout the day, a detail that feels incredibly high-end but is relatively inexpensive to add during the initial construction phase, before drywall and finishing. Porcelain or ceramic tile that mimics marble or natural stone rounds out the look for a fraction of what actual slab marble would cost. And modern printing techniques have made these tiles genuinely difficult to distinguish from the real thing at a glance. One detail a lot of Barndominium owners don't fully capitalize on. Those soaring ceilings are practically begging for a loft. Because the shell already has that extra vertical height built in, adding a full second story, or even just a partial loft that overlooks the great room below, is one of the most cost-effective ways to add real, usable square footage without expanding the building's footprint or foundation. That means no extra land clearing, no extra foundation pour, no extra roofline. Just smart use of space you're already paying for vertically. A loft office, a reading nook, or an extra bedroom tucked above the main living area also creates one of those dramatic architectural sightlines. Looking up and seeing another living space overhead, that instantly makes a home feel bigger and more custom than its footprint suggests. Not everything in this build should be budget conscious. And this is the part most people get backwards. They save money on the things guests actually touch and use every day, and spend it on things nobody notices. The smartest builds flip that. They spend real money on a few key categories. Comfortable, quality furniture and textiles that get touched constantly. Sofas, bedding, rugs. Statement lighting fixtures that anchor a room and become a visual focal point. High-quality windows and exterior doors, which are structurally critical in a metal building since they need a proper seal to prevent drafts and moisture issues. And ventilation systems. Because Barndominiums are tightly sealed structures, you genuinely need a high-capacity range hood with a proper makeup air system so you don't create backdraft issues with water heaters or fireplaces. The rule of thumb from designers who specialize in these builds: spend money on comfort and function, save money on flash. It sounds simple, but it's the actual difference between a home that looks good in photos and feels cheap in person versus one that feels genuinely luxurious to live in every day. Let's get specific, because vague numbers don't help anyone actually planning a build. For the shell, the steel or post-frame structure, slab foundation, roofing, and exterior siding. Expect this to be your most predictable cost, often quoted directly by a kit supplier. Kit-only shells can run $20 to $50 per square foot, though that number covers structure only, not a finished interior. Interior finishing is genuinely the budget battleground. This includes insulation, framing interior walls, drywall, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, flooring, cabinetry, countertops, and fixtures. This is where labor costs matter enormously, and where the material swaps we've talked about, like LVP instead of hardwood and quartz-look laminate instead of slab stone, make the biggest dollar-for-dollar difference. Don't forget the costs that live outside the build line item entirely. Land, site work, utility hookups, septic systems if you're rural, permits, and a contingency fund for the unexpected. Buyers who blow past their target budget almost always did it by pricing only the kit or the shell, and forgetting that the full project includes everything from foundation to final trim work. So let's recap what actually makes this $150,000 Barndominium look like a $3 million estate. The steel shell gives you soaring vaulted ceilings and dramatic open architecture completely free, just by virtue of how it's engineered. Luxury vinyl plank or polished, stained concrete replaces what could otherwise be a $40,000 plus hardwood flooring bill. Quartz-look laminate and RTA cabinetry replace custom millwork and slab marble countertops at a fraction of the price and with better day-to-day durability. Warm-toned lighting replaces the need for wildly expensive fixtures as the primary luxury feel trigger in every room. A loft captures free vertical square footage the shell already paid for. And underneath all of it, the philosophy of contrast, rough steel bones against refined, soft finishes, replaces any need to fully imitate a traditional mansion in the first place. It's not about faking luxury. It's about genuinely understanding what makes a space feel expensive to the human eye: natural light, ceiling height, warm tones, material contrast, cohesive design, and then being deliberate about where every single dollar of a $150,000 budget actually goes. If this changed how you think about what's actually possible on a home building budget in 2026, hit that like button right now. It genuinely helps this video reach more people who need to see it. And drop a comment telling me, would you actually build a Barndominium, or are you still team traditional house? I read every comment, and I want to know where you land. If you want the full room-by-room cost breakdown with real dollar figures for every single material we covered today, I've got that video linked right here. Trust me, it's the one that'll actually help you plan your own build from start to finish. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.